Out for a hike on the Ridge Trail, Morro Bay State Park. So I have a nice view of the Morro Bay estuary. I think they said it's lost about 25% of its wetland or volume in the last 100 years. So you can imagine the water came in much closer in earlier times. There's a gentle slope right there above the road. You can see the cars, and over where that dark hillside is, right there, there's a creek that runs and comes out over there. You can kind of see the causeway where it comes out. Probably at one time or another, native people camped right down here and harvested probably clams and seafood from the bay, and then we're getting freshwater clams and such from that creek area over there. Now up over here by those dead trees, there's a trail. You can kind of just see it right there. You zoom in on it. And that trail kind of goes up and over that little ridge, and there's quite a bit of shell fragment up there. So they probably sat up there and processed shellfish. I'm not sure why they would climb so high up the hill, other than maybe a commanding view. I just don't know. They could have just sat down here on the flat closer to camp, but I'm not going to walk down into that area. I have a feeling that probably there's shell fragments down there and like that, but I don't want to go off trail and ruin the vegetation and start erosion. But now when they put in the sewer a few years ago, they were excavating over there along the bay in those communities, and they were finding remains and of people and artifacts. So we know that they were encamped over that side of the bay. But the fact of the matter is they were nomadic, and they were here for thousands and thousands of years, and they probably camped all over the place at one time or another, and not just any one group, probably multiple different groups, just following the yield and the food sources and like that. I've always wondered about this promontory over here, if it might have held any sacred meaning for them. It's certainly a unique outcropping. The whole area is very unique. There's just a lot of volcanic mounds and knolls around here. So it would have been a very, very interesting place, and to a primitive people probably would have been very interesting and unique to them as well. Now that's called the Tiki Rock for obvious reasons. It looks like a Hawaiian tiki god statue. They might have pondered on that, and it might have held some significance. These folks were really in harmony with their surroundings and the environment. So, unlike you and I, who are so material, and we kind of live in the modern world, and we're mesmerized by electronics and devices and our iPhones and television and digital. Well, they didn't have that, but what they had was this beautiful natural world, and every day was probably the discovery of something unique about the environment. Of course, they were working hard to gather food and to craft the things they needed, tools and items for preparing food, weaving baskets, and very work-intensive lifestyle. Probably a very, very simple people, but I envy them to be so in touch with the earth and all the natural beauty, and to appreciate it. We don't have that anymore. I mean, we do, but not that deep of immersion that they knew living in it. And I kind of think that's why we don't treat the earth very well, because we're just not immersed in it. We see it more as an object rather than a benevolent, life-giving, living organism, really. An ecosystem, a global ecosystem that gives life, and we don't have the appreciation, and that's sad. And I think they did. There's a spirituality to it. You recognize that it gives life, and it gives food and sustenance and shelter and things like that, and so you see something greater, a greater force that is benevolent and is worthy of reverence and gratitude. But we don't have that. We don't have that. We don't look at the earth like, with reverence or gratitude. We don't. More and more, we don't seem to have belief in a creator, an all-powerful being that gives life. We're so caught up in our technology, and it's such a tragedy. But I'm here today, and I'm grateful for the day. So, anyway, sharing a few thoughts. And I'm just going to keep hiking on here. We will talk to you later, my friends.